You're scrolling through social media and you see another video about money-saving hacks. Buy in bulk to save money, use cashback apps, sign up for store loyalty programs, clip coupons, wait for sales, buy generic brands. You feel motivated, productive even, like you're finally taking control of your finances. So you download 3 new apps, sign up for 4 email lists, spend an hour organizing digital coupons, and drive to 3 different stores to maximize your savings. By the end of the week, you've saved $80 according to your receipts. Except when you actually look at your credit card statement, you spent $250 more than you usually do. You bought things you weren't planning to buy because they were on sale, you drove further and used more gas, you spent money on premium memberships for savings apps, and somehow your quest to save money has made you spend significantly more. My name is Minted Finance, and I spend way too much time thinking about how the personal finance industry sells you solutions that create the exact problems they claim to solve. If you're someone who's tried every money-saving hack you've seen online, but somehow still can't seem to save money, hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, because what I'm about to show you is going to make you realize that most money-saving advice is designed to make you feel productive while actually making you poorer. So let's talk about money-saving hacks, because here's the thing, most of them don't actually save you money. They make you spend money you wouldn't have spent otherwise, but they make you feel good about spending it because you got a deal. And that feeling of getting a deal is exactly what keeps you broke. You're not saving money, you're spending money with extra steps and calling it savings. Here's what most people don't realize. The entire concept of saving money on purchases is psychologically backwards. You don't save money by buying things. You save money by not buying things. But that's not sexy. That's not a hack. That's just discipline and intentionality. So instead, you get sold this idea that you can save your way to wealth by being a smarter shopper, by finding better deals, by optimizing every purchase, and it's complete nonsense. Now look, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but Minted Finance, if I'm going to buy things anyway, isn't it better to get it on sale? Sure, if you were actually going to buy it anyway. But here's where it gets interesting. Research on consumer behavior shows that people who actively seek out deals and use money-saving strategies actually spend more on average than people who don't. More, not less. Because the hunt for deals changes your behavior in ways that cost you money. Let me show you the math. Because once you see what these money-saving hacks are actually costing you, you're going to throw away every coupon app on your phone. Let's start with buying in bulk, the classic money-saving hack. Buy the big package, pay less per unit. Makes sense, right? Except studies show that when people buy in bulk, they consume 20 to 30% more of the product. You buy the giant bag of chips instead of the small one because the per ounce price is better. But now you eat more chips because they're there. You didn't save money, you spent more money and consumed more calories. Double loss. But it gets worse. When you buy in bulk, you often buy things you wouldn't have bought at all if they weren't on sale in bulk. You see a great deal on something, you buy it, it sits in your pantry or garage for months, and eventually you throw it away because it expired or you never used it. According to research, about 30% of food purchased in bulk goes to waste. So you paid for the privilege of throwing away food. That's not saving money, that's the opposite of saving money. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but what about cashback apps and credit card rewards? That's free money. Is it though? Because here's what most people don't realize. Cashback programs are designed to increase spending, not decrease it. Credit card companies have done the research. People who use cashback cards spend 12 to 18% more than people who use regular credit cards. 12 to 18%. So you're getting 2% back, but you're spending 15% more. Congratulations, you just lost 13% of your money while feeling like you won. The psychology here is fascinating. When you use a cashback card, every purchase feels like you're making money instead of spending money. Your brain reframes spending as earning, so you buy things you wouldn't have bought otherwise because you're earning cash back. The credit card companies know this. That's why they offer cash back. It's not generosity, it's a behavioral manipulation tool that makes them way more money than they pay out in rewards. Here's the psychology part that nobody talks about. Money-saving hacks give you what researchers call licensing effect. When you do something virtuous, like using a coupon or finding a deal, your brain gives you permission to do something less virtuous, like buying more stuff. You saved $5 on groceries with a coupon, so your brain says it's okay to spend $10 on a coffee drink on the way home. You just lost $5, but you feel responsible because you used a coupon. Think about it. You go to a store specifically because you have a coupon for 20% off. You wouldn't have gone to that store otherwise. You buy something for $40 and save $8 with your coupon. But you also buy two other things while you're there because you're already at the store and they look interesting. You spend $35 more on things you weren't planning to buy. You save $8 and spent $75 total. If you hadn't had the coupon, you would have spent $0. That coupon cost you $75. Let me give you another example that's going to make you angry. Store loyalty programs. You sign up because you shop there anyway and you want the points. Sounds reasonable. Except now you get emails every day about sales and promotions. You visit the store more often because you're tracking your points. You buy things you don't need because you get bonus points. Studies show that members of store loyalty programs spend about 25 to 40% more at those stores than non-members. The stores know this. That's why they're so aggressive about getting you to sign up. Your loyalty is expensive. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, though. Let's talk about sales, the ultimate money-saving hack. Wait for things to go on sale and then buy them. Sounds smart. Except sales are designed to make you spend money on things you weren't going to buy. According to retail research, about 60% of sale purchases are unplanned. People weren't going to buy the item, but because it's on sale, they buy it. You didn't save 30% on something you needed. You spent 70% on something you didn't need. And here's the thing that frustrates me the most. Retailers manipulate what on sale even means. They'll mark something up and then put it on sale at the regular price. They'll create fake scarcity with limited time sales that happen every month. They'll show you a was price that the item was never actually sold at. You think you're getting a deal, but you're just paying regular price while feeling good about it. And that good feeling makes you more likely to buy. Now look, let me give you some real examples of how this plays out. You need new shoes. You could go to a store, try on shoes, find a pair that fits well and costs $60 and buy them. Total cost $60, 30 minutes of time. But instead, you decide to be smart about it. You research online, compare prices across websites, sign up for email lists to get coupon codes, install a browser extension that tracks prices, wait for a sale. You spend 3 hours on this. Finally, you find the perfect deal. The shoes are $45 instead of $60. You saved $15. Except you didn't, because while you were shopping for shoes online, you also saw a shirt on sale, and a belt, and some socks, and you bought them because they were good deals and you were already ordering shoes anyway, so the shipping was free. You spent $120 total. If you had just bought the $60 shoes at the first store, you would have spent $60. Your money-saving strategy cost you $60 and 3 hours of your time. Or think about meal planning and cooking at home. Everyone says this saves money compared to eating out, and it can if you do it right. But here's what most people don't realize. When you start trying to save money by cooking elaborate meals at home, you often spend more than if you just bought simple groceries. You see a recipe online, you need to buy 12 ingredients, you use 1 tablespoon of each for the recipe, and the rest sits in your pantry until it expires. You spent $45 on ingredients to make a meal that would have cost $12 if you just made pasta with butter. Here's what most people don't realize. The money-saving hacks industry exists to make money off you. Every app, every program, every course, every book about saving money is designed to generate revenue. And the best way to generate revenue is to keep you engaged, keep you consuming content, keep you trying new strategies. If you just stopped buying stuff you don't need, you wouldn't need their hacks. But that's not a business model. Let me show you some action steps, because understanding this doesn't help unless you change your approach. First, stop tracking deals and start tracking spending. Delete the coupon apps, unsubscribe from promotional emails, stop following deal accounts on social media. These things aren't helping you save money, they're tempting you to spend money. Track every dollar you actually spend instead of every dollar you supposedly save. You'll be shocked at the difference. But here's where the psychology gets really interesting. There's research showing that even when people are fully educated on the math, even when they understand they're giving an interest-free loan to the government, many still prefer to get a refund rather than break even or owe a small amount. Why? Because of something called loss aversion. Loss aversion is this principle that humans feel the pain of losing money about twice as intensely as we feel the pleasure of gaining the same amount. So owing the IRS $500 at tax time feels way worse than getting a $500 refund feels good, even though mathematically they're the same distance from breaking even. People would rather overpay by $1,000 and get that back than risk underpaying by $200 and having to write a check. We're so afraid of the loss that we'll accept a guaranteed negative outcome to avoid even the possibility of it. This is the same psychological quirk that makes people hold losing stocks too long and sell winning stocks too early, that makes people stay in bad relationships because breaking up feels like losing something, that makes people refuse to negotiate for fear of losing a deal. We're wired to avoid loss more than we're wired to pursue gain, and financial institutions exploit this constantly. Now look, I'm not saying you should try to owe money at tax time. The goal isn't to underpay and get hit with penalties. The goal is to break even, or get as close to breaking even as possible, so that your money is working for you all year long instead of sitting with the government. And this is completely doable. You just need to actually look at your W-4 and adjust your withholdings based on your real tax situation. Here's what most people don't realize. The W-4 form isn't set in stone. You can change it whenever you want. You can adjust it multiple times a year if you need to. If you're consistently getting big refunds, you're withholding too much, and you should reduce your withholding. If you're consistently owing money, you're withholding too little, and you should increase it. The IRS literally has a free withholding calculator on their website that'll tell you exactly what to put on your W-4 to break even. It takes maybe 15 minutes. But people don't do this because either they don't know they can, or they actually like getting the refund despite the terrible math, or they're just putting off the decision because taxes feel complicated and annoying. So they keep giving interest-free loans to the government year after year, and they keep treating their own money like it's a gift when it comes back, and they keep spending it in ways they wouldn't spend regular income. Let me tell you about something that happened to a friend of mine, because this really illustrates how insane our mental accounting can get. She got a $4,500 refund one year. She was super excited, treating it like this huge windfall. She used $1,500 to pay down credit card debt, which is good. She put $1,000 in savings, also good. And she spent $2,000 on a vacation, which fine, vacations are nice. But here's the thing. At the same time she was excited about this refund, she was also stressing about money constantly. She was living paycheck to paycheck, overdrafting her account regularly, paying overdraft fees. And I was like, you realize that $4,500 refund means you were overpaying your taxes by $375 a month, right? And she was like, yeah, so? And I was like, so if you'd had that $375 in your paycheck every month, you wouldn't have overdrafted your account 8 times last year. You wouldn't have paid those $280 in overdraft fees. You'd have had a cushion. Instead, you gave the government an interest-free loan while paying the bank fees for not having enough money in your checking account. You literally paid money to not have access to your own money. And this broke her brain a little bit because she'd never thought about it that way. She'd just thought big refund, good, regular paycheck, boring. But when you actually do the math, she lost money on that deal. Not even counting the lost investment returns, just the direct overdraft fees she paid to get her own money back late. This is what mental accounting does. It creates these completely irrational behaviors where we'll pay to borrow money at 22% interest while also lending our own money at 0% interest and feeling good about it. It's like if you saw someone at a casino putting money on red while also betting an equal amount on black, and when they break even, they celebrate like they won. That's what we're doing with tax refunds. Here's what I want you to do, and this is genuinely going to change how you think about your money. First, figure out if you're consistently getting refunds or owing money. If you're getting refunds over $1,000 pretty much every year, you need to adjust your withholding. Go to the IRS withholding calculator, answer the questions, see what it says you should be claiming on your W-4, and then actually update your W-4 with your employer. Second, if you do adjust your withholdings and start seeing more money in your paycheck, immediately set up automation so that money goes somewhere useful. If you were previously getting a $3,000 refund, that's $250 a month. Set up an automatic transfer of $250 per month from checking to a high-yield savings account or investment account on the same day your paycheck hits. That way you never see it, you never spend it, but it's actually working for you instead of sitting with the government. And this is completely doable. You just need to actually look at your W-4 and adjust your withholdings based on your real tax situation. Third, and this is the hard one, you need to retrain your brain to stop treating different sources of money differently. A dollar is a dollar, whether it came from a paycheck, a bonus, a gift, a refund, whatever. It has the same value, the same potential, the same opportunity cost. Stop creating these arbitrary mental categories that make you spend windfall money differently than earned money. Make spending decisions based on your actual financial situation and goals, not based on how the money arrived in your account. Fourth, if you've already filed and you're expecting a refund this year, I want you to do something different with it. Don't treat it like free money. Treat it like it's a delayed paycheck, because that's what it is. If you wouldn't buy something with a regular paycheck, don't buy it with refund money. Use it the same way you'd use any other chunk of money, some to debt if you have it, some to savings, some to investing, and yes, some to things you enjoy, but in the same proportions you'd use for regular income. Here's what most people don't realize about building wealth. It's not about making more money, although that helps. It's about understanding the psychological tricks your brain plays on you and setting up systems that counteract them. Mental accounting is one of the biggest wealth destroyers out there because it makes you treat identical money differently based on arbitrary categories. But once you see it, once you understand it, you can fix it. And the fix is simple. Eliminate the categories. Money is money. It doesn't matter if it came from a paycheck, a refund, a birthday card from your aunt. What matters is what you do with it, and what you do with it should be based on your financial goals and priorities, not based on what mental bucket it fell into when it arrived. The reason refunds feel like free money is just a quirk of psychology that you can choose to ignore once you understand it. And choosing to ignore it, choosing to see money as money regardless of its source, that might be the single most valuable financial decision you make this year.